Hello, it's Brendan from techbuzzireland. Today we've got the Canon MAXIFY GX650 printer. And this is obviously the printer here at the moment. Just looks your, I suppose, from a normal point of view of a printer. Ink cartridges here and all the different trays. We're just going to give it a quick things. Once you get it set up, you do actually get a manual with it. So it gives you all the instructions about setting it up, unpacking, etc. on the instructions. But just before we just give a quick overview of what's actually happening in the printer itself. This one is slightly different than your typical ones that you'd normally have a cartridge. It comes with your ink, Canon ink here at the moment. One of the big things on this is when you're putting the ink in, obviously this is the colour one here at the moment, black and white bubble here. You just pour directly into the bottle itself. One of the unique selling points, I suppose, with this particular unit, again, is the unit itself on the printer there at the moment. This particular ink cartridge comes with about 6,000 images printing. The cost of it is approximately under €16. The bottle, the Cyan Magneto, the yellow bottle there at the moment, they're probably under €26. So these three other bottles there at the moment, really good price, for example, for what you're getting. And I suppose price isn't important, but when I'm talking 6,000 things, 14,000 pages for the colour ones there at the moment. And that's up to 18,000 pages directly from the unit. But that's the ink sorted. So we have the ink sorted there. It also comes with a 6.7-inch display. This gives us an idea of what's, I suppose, touchscreen. We'll come back to that in a few moments. You've got your standard paper tray itself. It's actually telling me how to do it. Put that in there. Once I've poured the ink in, I can see the different levels. And I can see the black over here. So visually I can actually see if they're getting low, etc. And the model is there. And that's the display. Just turn the printer around for a moment. On the back, you've got your standard power cable, nothing unusual there. You've got a USB cable which is not supplied. This is very important. I like the idea of this particular one because you can plug a cable into this particular part, which means that if the network goes down, you can fault find, so you can plug it directly into the printer. It is not supplied. Wi-Fi network, your wireless network, excuse me, your network cable can go directly in here. This is connected wireless today. Honestly, you can take out parts here at the moment. That's just in case there's a paper jam. You can get an idea. And paper. And these are the different ideas and the different sections you can go. We'll put that back, we'll pull that back, and for additional paper we can put it in the back as well. We'll just turn it around to the front again. And that is your basic idea. Tilt display, it's got all the basic functionalities that you would expect, and we'll just go into a bit more details on these. Well, that's the idea. And the initial setup itself, now on the printer itself, it wouldn't be the fastest printer in the world for actually printing there. What it's got is 24 pages in black, 15.5 inching, has the Wi-Fi already connected itself. It will print in duplex, which is both sides there at the moment. Touchscreen display, holds about 250 pages directly into the unit itself. And that's kind of a very quick overview of what it can do. But when you're buying a printer, most people will talk about, I want it quiet, I want to be able to print envelopes, for example, duplex printing, span form from the cloud, etc. This particular one, I suppose the worst thing, the main thing about it would be is to say is it is Wi-Fi, Ethernet, print copies, cloud, and copy, and you can print from your phone also. So to give you a quick idea of this particular one, when you're setting it up, the unboxing is standard enough. Nothing unusual there, just about taking off all the protective parts. And this is probably the first part. When I came to this particular part, I saw a QR code. Looks quite good. Unfortunately, this is where it gets a bit disappointing. You can try and scan that. Now it'll take you to this particular website. Then you have to download find the particular printer you've got, run the setup. The setup to me is something like the older fashioned setup on the software. It seems an old fashioned software. The GUI, for example, on the downloading, etc. is the same. Similarly with the smartphone, you connect to the smartphone. You would expect to scan the QR code and download directly to the software, but no, it takes you directly to the website. You have to physically type in the model code itself, then go onto the app and download it. It's only an extra stage, but for me, it should be directly. You scan an app, it brings you directly to the exact app, you download it. Whereas here, it's a bit disappointing there at the moment. When you come on through it here at the moment, then that it says using the fax function. I do stress this particular model, I'm delighted to say, does not have a fax function there. Some of the other models does. This one does not required. If you're still using a fax, I'd have more curious unless you're from a regulated body that needs, government body that needs to have that for a reason, not required, etc. And I've seen people written that says bad things about it because of that, but as far as that's concerned, get rid of it. We do not need fax in the modern days. This technology is changing. Quick idea on the display itself here. Now we'll get a bit more details. And this will give us the menu itself. So this is the normal menu. Now very responsive, I have to actually say. You've got your normal things, you've got your home button and you've got your back. When you're going into the device settings, you can go to device settings, and as always, you're just going down to language to firmware update, passwords, user management settings, cloud center, reset. I love the idea of the reset button. The reset is always handy to have it actually as an option because it's good to have that. And the back button just takes me back, or the shortcut I can go directly into thing. Back into the settings. I'm just going down to it. It's got an eco mode, which is quite good, and it's got an also quiet setting. So if you're in a noisy office, for example, you can actually decide to say turn the noise. It will slow it down. It will make a few other changes, but from my perspective, it's well worth having that option there. And again, you can just go directly back to the home and you can go copy, preset, etc. there. I've just added some printer paper to the printer itself, and I've just got a normal Word document just to print. It's actually just taken directly from the Canon website. And I'm just going to print it just to give us an idea of what we're actually getting. So I'm printing. When I go to the printing, I've got all my options along the printer itself, and it's just showing me I've got 2 random pages here. There's not, won't worry too much on the content itself. Print all pages, print on both sides, the settings. I'm just going to go into the printer settings. Quite often people don't really go in here, and it's kind of quite good because within the printer quality you can turn to economy. So if you're just doing a draft, and you can turn it up to high. There is other options in here that you can do, whether it's the landscape, etc., which is standard in most printers, etc., on the background. But so I'll just set it up there. I have it as a default after this running the software, and I'm just going to press print. So what should be actually happening on that is it's got the Wi-Fi, is connecting, it's telling me it's printing, etc. in the background. So this is going to print as normal without any printing. Well, just interesting to see the time is coming out. Bear in mind, this is going to be a little bit longer than normal because I have actually told it to be on the best quality, and as such, it's going to come through it. With your budget printers, what will actually happen on occasions, it will actually take to change the printer over. So what you have to do is to print on both sides. You've got to take it out, manually put it back in. On this situation, you're kind of it's going directly onto the thing. So we'll see the quality coming out in a few moments. And it'll come out. And this is actually live, so there's no speeding up the process or fast forwarding it, just to give you an idea of the time frames. I haven't done any other real adjustments, etc. in the background. And this has got color and details on the back. So that's actually what I've printed out in the color. Now, looking at the picture quality, it is a screenshot, but we can't fault it, etc. on that. So just leave that for a moment. We have done print, which is standard enough doing your normal smartphone with your normal laptop. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a picture of this and print it directly from my phone. So we just get a reasonable picture. And I've got a few pictures here. So within the phone itself, back to my photos. So within the pictures itself, we just pick this random one there. And we'll go to the settings. And we'll find print. Printer settings comes up. And this is the picture that we just printed off, taken care on that. And we just started to print. So what it's doing now is printing from the phone directly to the unit. Obviously I just downloaded the software, ran the software standard enough. As I mentioned earlier, the QR code when setting up was a bit more, you had to go in manually, set it up, configure it, rather than going directly to the app itself. So this is printing, and it's directly from the phone, so it gives the idea what's coming through. We'll hopefully get an idea in a few moments what it's printing. It is telling me it's printing. It's not giving me a percentage or anything of that nature, but it's working. And it's good. I can actually see the ink. I can see what's actually going on. Now I can print from the back tray or from the tray underneath it. This is the printer picture that we've actually taken itself from the phone, just taking a quick snapshot. So I suppose the next thing we can do then is we've got a scan option on the unit. So again, what we'll actually do is we'll just scan this. And we'll scan this. And we'll do it to our PC. We have different timings, so I could actually take it from the USB, but I'll just go directly to my laptop. And what I'm going to do is have the option of copying the black and white or color. So let's just go for the color. And it's going to tell me to put it into the scanner itself. While it's thinking about telling me, I'm just going to put it directly in. Have it reasonably put down. So it's just updating itself, and it will give me the option in a few moments to scan it. And what it'll do is it'll scan it back directly to the laptop. Scanning original, I have actually had the option of black and white or color. So in theory, over here what we can actually see on the laptop is it's actually telling me what I want to do. And we'll go end. And again, we just popped up on my laptop. I didn't have to do anything here, we just configured. So the picture we've just taken, we've printed a page. What we've done is we've scanned it, printed the page directly, then printed it on the phone, took a picture of the one we printed, scanned it, and it's come up here, and it's the whole idea. And this is kind of where we're coming from. So in essence, everything is work streamlined, everything is working. Print itself is very solid. It does work as normal that you'd actually expect, so it's very solid in things. Heavy wise, certainly is heavier than a lot you'd see before, but I don't have a problem with that because typically when you put it in there, the trays are quite good. Love the ink, really like the ink. The economy of scales is saving there at the moment in there. Touch screen is very, very good with the options of loads of other informations there. And I can kind of go into cloud printing, etc. So loads of options there. Cost savings thing. Not impressed by the setup guide in the sense of simple basics of the QR code. I do think the software is old, but in fairness, maybe stability, etc. for a small business thing. And people have said to me, well, why would you go off spending lots of money on the likes of this? This is quite expensive for you. You can get a printer which is probably take a zero off the price of this particular model, and it'll do the same job. It will print, it will scan. But when I'm going back to my original point there at the moment is for the eco-friendly on that. When you think of most of them come through, you get this particular thing, and going back to the cost saving. So if you wanted the cost saving there, and again I stress this is under €16 for this particular bottle. Most printers that you buy, budget printers, they only come with a low amount of ink. You're printing 18,000 pages approximately with this type of setup there at the moment. It wouldn't be the fastest printer there at the moment. It's 14,000 prints from the color. Huge savings straight away. As far as the quality is concerned, it does work very well. It's no issues. Connectability, an example there from the phone, from the laptop, from the scanner, and copying is obviously the same principles as well. It is solid. It can be moved. It can get round. Like the display's touch screen. Very things there at the moment is there. Bit more expensive than your basic printer, but if you're in a small office, for example, or you're like a lot of people now working from home, with your office is your home and you are printing on a regular basis, if you're printing a couple of 100 pages a month, it's certainly a way to go. As I mentioned, this one does not come with a fax, but I think a fax has gone out the window. Nobody's going to be using in reality on those areas there. Spec is quite good, but the workhorse overall and the different options that you've actually got, and there is loads of options to sign up to in continuous sync, etc. But for the moment, you wouldn't be really using that approach. And that's it from the Tech Buzz Ireland. Thank you for watching the GX6050. That's the Canon MAXIFY GX6050 from Tech Buzz Ireland. Thank you very much.